Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. I'm Erin and today we're going to create a scrapbook layout with this adorable Smitten collection from close to my heart. As you can see, it does have a Valentine's theme vibe to it, but I'm going to be documenting a photo that has nothing to do with Valentine's Day. So I'll give you a closer look at this fun paper pack. If you tilt the sticker sheet, you'll notice it has a shiny finish on many of those stickers, which I absolutely love. Tons of title options, forever in my heart. That would work great for your spouse or even your pets or your kids. Lots of things we hold forever in our heart. So I can think of a whole bunch of things I'd like to document with this. You're my happy place. That might be my, my kitchen with my cup of coffee in the morning. That's my happy place. So that would work for that. Be mine. And then all these fun little word phrase stickers. And how cute is this llama? Hug your llama today. And hug me, a little cactus stuck on you. Super fun, cute little, oh look, there's my coffee cup. I'm coming up with the layout in my head right now. You're my happy place, coffee cup. You guys feeling me here? Let's go ahead and take a look at the pattern papers. If you're familiar with Close to My Heart, all of their papers are double-sided, so I've already gone ahead and flipped them over so you can get, a look at everything at once. But we have these adorable arrows on here in different colors. The opposite side is this kind of doodly background with hearts. I can remember sitting in high school and we had, paper bags that we covered our books in, and we would do this kind of stuff. That's what it reminds me of, so it's really fun. And then we have this really fun heart paper. I say everything's fun because scrapbooking in general is super fun to me, and that's just what comes to mind. So lots of fun going on. But this raspberry background with white hearts and nectarine also. The opposite side is capri. It is kind of like a woven pattern, if you will. And then we have, now this one's really fun. I should have saved my fun word for this one. So all the little hearts with different, kind of like the candy hearts. I'm yours, miss you, best day, you shine, text me, all sorts of cute things going on here. And a classic stripe on the other side. Along with all that fun pattern paper, you get a ton of cardstock if you get the product bundle or the workshop. So there's Capri, Flamingo, Lemonade, Raspberry, Ballerina, and White Daisy. And there are 2 sheets of each color. And if you're not familiar with Close to My Heart cardstock, the opposite side is always a shade lighter. So it's really kind of 2 colors in one, which is super cool. I did go ahead and get the workshop bundle, so there is a stamp included, and this one is fun. The little sewing machine, I have some friends that sew, and so I like that alone, and the fan, I'm like, I have to have this because the sentiment says I'm so glad we're friends, and I just thought that was really cute. And for the fan, it says I'm your biggest fan. So those don't have to be Valentine's themed. They can just be any occasion cards, but I love that you can send those to your friends and it's just kind of fun. So I love you, eucalyptus, like I love eucalyptus, little koala bear. Blowing kisses, that also works for the fan. Be mine, and then happy Valentine's Day, you're sublime, Valentine, for our little lime here. So just kind of punny sayings, and I think those are super cute. And oh, these do all come with coordinating thin cuts, not the sentiments, but all of the images on here do. The photo I selected is of my husband and I out on an adventure. I'll tell you more about this during the video, but you can see there's a lot of blues going on, and it just really jumped out at me with the capri paper, so I thought it's going to work perfectly. Plus I'm documenting just something about my husband that I really love, so I thought this would be appropriate for that. Let me clear this up and we'll get started. Let me get my VersaMat situated here, and I thought it'd be fun for my base to use this pattern paper here, and then I will bring in a sheet of White Daisy that I have trimmed down to 11 by 11, so we'll have a 1/2 inch margin all the way around. This one here is 11 by 4 inches, and I'm going to run that right across, just kind of offset to the right, and I've matted my photo on Capri cardstock, and I will position that just like so. For these 3 different pattern papers, I've selected some circle dies. These are the infinity dies from Hero Arts. This one's 4 3/4 or 4.5. This one's 3 3/4 and 2 3/4. So I just want graduated size circles, and I will go ahead and cut one from each pattern paper off camera. If you don't have circle dies this size, you can always use your Cricut or Silhouette. And if you don't have that, try grabbing a cup or small bowl from your kitchen, trace around it, and cut it out by hand. I love to add ink to the edges. And if you do cut these by hand, this technique will hide any of those little imperfections that may be there from hand cutting your circles. Typically I use black or like a charcoal or pewter to do this, but I thought it'd be fun to really play up this raspberry color and use that to go around the edges. I haven't done a layout like this for a while, and I'll show you here in a moment my inspiration layout from the catalog. But I am going to kind of frame my photo in with these circles, and I'm layering them underneath my photo. This one I think is going to go right about here. This is from the coordinating sticker sheet. I'm going to use that for my title element. I have mounted that on some craft foam, and I'm going to mat it on this Capri cardstock so that the white doesn't get lost into the white background. This area right here kind of bothers me, so I cut a smaller ballerina cardstock colored circle, and I'm going to position that right there to cover up that little hole that we had in our layout. This is the Dina Wakley gloss spray in the color Ocean, and this goes along with the Capri color beautifully. I'm using some inexpensive printer paper to protect the areas I don't want splattered. Ideally, we would do this technique before adding all of our pattern papers and layers, but sometimes we don't think about the splatter until after we build our layout. So I'm just going to untwist that cap and then use the nozzle here, just tapping it to add a little splatter. You see me tapping it off to the side, and that's just to kind of get some of the excess off so it's not so much on my layout at once. I think that looks good. Let me bring back in my title, and yeah, I like it. I think I'm going to add some more here and here. I'm going to add some flowers using the layered floral dies. I'm going to use this leaf and then these 2 layers right here. For the leaves, I chose Capri cardstock, so I'll cut several of those, and then nectarine for the top layer of the flower, and I'll cut the bottom layer from white cardstock. This set of floral dies is one of my absolute favorites. I just love it because you can customize it. You can cut them from pattern paper or different colored cardstocks, and I've used them quite a bit. I'm showing you here the catalog. This is the mix-in paper pack, and you can see they've used these floral dies and the leaves on this layout with the circles, and that's kind of what inspired mine. My circles are definitely different, but it was still the idea of the circles mixed with the flowers. So I'm going to tuck these behind a couple different areas on the layout, but I figured I better glue my flowers together first. I like to use liquid glue, and then I can slide them into place. There is a very obvious point on this flower here that matches up with the base layer, making it easy to line those up. Some dies I know are tricking. You got to kind of like spin it, and hopefully it falls into the right place. The photo, we are in the woods, and we were actually visiting a treetop adventure park in Tahoe, which, you know, doesn't necessarily have anything to do with flowers or anything like that, but I still think that these are just neutral embellishments that can work for so many different things. This is a sticker I'm pulling off the coordinating sticker sheet, and I'll write the date on that later. This one here says love you more, and I thought that would look cute kind of off over to the side. I'm going to bump my title piece down just a bit to give me a little bit more room to embellish above the title. So I'll go ahead and overlap or leave that hanging off the edge just a bit like so. And now this is the envelope die. It is so cute. It makes this tiny little miniature envelope. I already glued it all together and added a heart from the sticker sheet. And I thought it's just so fun. You could tuck little things in there, little die cuts, or make it look like a little letter. Lots of things you can do with this envelope. I've used it on cards quite a bit. It's just super cute. I'm going to bring more of that raspberry color over to the other side of the layout here. So I'm going to have that just peeking out for my photo, and there's a row of hearts, and I thought that that looked good. Speaking of hearts, we have the black acrylic heart shapes that I'm going to add. So I'm just thumbing through to see what shapes I'd like to use. I think this one looks cool. I'm going to pull a few more out and put them in a triangle around my photo. Just little subtle touches of black. My shirt is black in the photo, so I just feel I could introduce that color and it just works. I'm going to slide this little flower up underneath there because we went ahead and cut him, so why not use him, right? This is one of the zip strips, they call them in Close to My Heart world. It's the branding strip off the top of the paper, but I love incorporating these onto my projects. I'm going to just run this through the top and bottom. I'm cutting it because you're not going to see all of that area behind, so I'll save the rest of that for another project. But this way it looks like one long continuous piece, and I think it finishes that transition off nicely and balances that pink color. Now these little hearts I actually fussy cut from the pattern paper, and I'm going to scatter those around the layout. I really like the capri one up top. These little guys I'm not sure about. I'll set them aside and, maybe work with them later. As I mentioned earlier, this photo was taken at the Treetop Adventure Park in Tahoe. Now, this kind of thing is totally my jam. I love anything adventure. I'm all for it. Sign me up. Now, my husband, maybe not so much, but I just love him because if I want to do something, he's going to go along with it, and he's always a good sport and usually ends up enjoying it after the fact. So, although he may not have thought of this ever on his own or even thought he'd ever want to do it, he does end up going along, like I said, supporting me in my crazy adventures and enjoying it. I have many more photos from this particular event, but I wanted to highlight this one and give it its own layout because I'm telling a different story. I'll scrapbook the rest as companion layouts later on. So I am looking at the coordinating sticker sheet, and there is this cute little letter here with a heart on the bottom. I'm like, oh, it's like a little love letter, and it fits perfectly in this envelope. I was going to make a letter, and then I spotted that on the sticker sheet, so it ended up working out perfectly. To adhere down these acrylic pieces, I like to use glue dots. You can use liquid glass also, but the glue dots work really well and you don't have to worry about it squishing out the side. So for my journaling, I have printed that on vellum. I'm going to tear the bottom here. I take my vellum, I cut it down to a 4x6 size, and I run it through my photo printer. You do have to let it dry because it will smear if you touch it right out of the photo printer. And, I kind of set it to plain paper, and then it doesn't quite saturate it so much. And I love it. It works great. So it lets that pattern paper show through, but we still get our journaling on there and it looks nice and tidy. I want to challenge you guys to think outside of the box. When you are creating with a themed kit like this Valentine kit, you definitely do not have to stick to that theme. So think outside of the box, and what else could you document with these fun papers? Like I have here, I've done my spouse on an adventure. You could do your pets, your kids, your grandkids, lots of ideas. Thank you so much for stopping by and spending time with me today. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will catch you guys in the next video.